Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Alex Langer, and I'm CEO and President of Sierra Madre Gold and Silver. Forward-looking statements, please have a peruse. I will be making many of them. There we go. Sierra Madre Gold and Silver is an exploration and future development company focused on acquiring high-value and quick-to-production precious metal assets in the state of Nayarit in western Mexico. Our 2 to 3 year goal is to have 50 to 100 million ounces of silver on an inventory, as well as production from 2 to 3 points, utilizing a hub and spoke mining scenario. Something that's modular, lower capex to start, but can grow as new projects come online or as we increase production from our current projects. With that in mind, we now have 2 projects. First one we acquired is called Tepic. We acquired Tepic from one of the main principals of Cream Minerals about 5 years ago. Tepic, during its heyday, had a market cap of well over 150 million. But more importantly, they put about $20 million into the ground, including over 31,000 meters of drilling, which we have in our core storage facility in Tepic, a bunch of positive network as well, a couple of NI 43-101 historic resources, one for just over 18 million ounces of silver equivalent, and the other one for 10 million ounces of silver equivalent, just depending on what cutoff grade you wanted to use. Split in value there is about 70% silver and 30% gold. About 140 kilometers away is our La Tigra project. We acquired La Tigra in August of 2021 from Grupo Mexico. Grupo, for those who don't know, is a multinational, multi-billion-dollar Mexican conglomerate. We are actually only the second junior to ever do a deal with Grupo Mexico. What's excited us about La Tigra? A few things. One is a past producer. During its peak in the early 90s, the head grade was over 10.5 grams gold and over 350 grams silver. The whole district hasn't even seen a drill hole, no modern mining until recently. We're currently drilling there right now. Everything we're doing technically is really based around one gentleman. That's Greg Liller. Greg is our executive chairman and chief operating officer. Greg is an exploration geologist by training, but he's been active in Mexico since 1993. He's actually had 7 projects become mines, which is truly quite incredible. You see some of the names there. Gammon Lake, which became Gammon Gold. That was taken over for $750 million. Genco, just to name a few. One thing that was always common with one of the M&A transactions is that the projects were already in production. In essence, they'd been de-risked. So that's what we're looking to do. We feel there's a lot of value by de-risking projects, increasing resources in the ground, and pushing them along. I myself, I come from a capital markets background. It was at Canaccord, left there in 2009. More recently, I've been on the corporate side of things. Last 2 companies I've been involved with, one was Prime Mining. We took that from a market cap about 20 million to well over 300 million now. And then most recently, Millennial Lithium. I was a founder there, and we just sold that for $500 million to Lithium Americas in January of this year. A couple of people on the technical team, some names you might recognize. First one's Greg Smith. Greg was most recently CEO of Calibre Mining during the acquisition of El Limon and La Libertad. He spent the majority of his career in Latin America. He drilled over 12 million ounces of gold. He's an awesome member of the team. Most recently, we announced a new member named Luis Saenz. Luis comes from us from Frisco, another multinational, multi-billion-dollar Mexican company. There, he was subdirector of mining. He had 14 different mines that he was involved with. And below him, we've built out just an incredible technical team. We're not relying on any consultants. Everything we're doing is in-house, which is great. 2 more people I'll quickly touch on. One is Jorge Ramiro. Jorge is also a Mexican national, lives in Hong Kong now. He's the CEO and founder of a company called Arena Silver, doing some good exploration work in Mexico. And then finally, another gentleman, Alejandro Carroveo. Alejandro comes from a really well-known Mexican mining family. He's also our country manager, so he handles drilling permits, dealing with the ejidos. Again, everything in-house, not relying on any consultants. Quickly on Tepic, one of the things that really attracted us about Tepic is location, the infrastructure. It's about 20 kilometers from the town of Tepic, which is the state capital of Nayarit, 500,000 people there. It's about a 20-minute drive, last 2 kilometers on a gravel road, the rest is paved. There's power to site, there's ample water, there's even a railhead that's owned by Grupo Mexico. So in terms of location, it's excellent. We're not dealing somewhere in the middle of Sierra Madres. We're very close to infrastructure. This is a project. When we inherited Tepic, the only work that had ever been done was kind of in that central area. We've done a lot of work since then. We've discovered a new area in the north. We've actually put a couple of drill holes there, as well as Tunas, which we would like to say is a discovery, but there's about 7 historic colonial mines there as well. We've just built 4 drill pads, and we'll be drilling that in the beginning of June. When we inherited Tepic, that central area, the historic veining, that's where that resource came, the 18 million ounces. Since then, we've gone from 3.5 kilometers of strike length to well over 15 kilometers, as you can see on the right. So previous operators hadn't even done topography survey. There really wasn't much work done. We've done kind of proper geology since then, have come up with some really exciting targets, and we've been drilling pretty extensively. These are some of the drill results. We are now 16 for 16. They're all exploration holes, all step outs anywhere from kind of 50 to 75 meters. So the project is looking quite a bit better than we had anticipated. At least it's going to be quite a bit larger. One other thing is the grades seem to have increased. We've gone from an average of about 200 grams equivalent to over 300 grams equivalent with the last round of drilling. So what's happening here at Tepic is we have 2 drill rigs, and we're moving them back and forth between La Tigra and Tepic. We're not going to drill without the benefit of assay. Assay turnaround times are much better than they used to be. We're looking at about 30 to 35 days, which is fine. So we kind of drill 2 here, then we drill about 15 holes with the 2 rigs at Tepic, then over to La Tigra, and kind of back and forth. We'll be coming out with an NI 43-101 here at Tepic, probably within Q3. We want to drill this out, kind of get about 80% of the project block modeled out before we move on to economics. So this is some of the trenching work we've done as well. So it goes to show it all goes all the way to surface, 9 meters grading over 500 grams silver, which is great. One thing we did realize from the previous operators, they actually didn't assay their whole drill core. They're budget conscious, and they missed a number of new zones, which we've discovered in our drilling. And that's all from surface to known mineralization. This is the historic resource. This is the 10 million ounce one. Just want to show the width, kind of 6 meters. So really conductive to, a positive mining scenario. Metallurgical work has been done, at least a small amount. We're going to be doing quite a bit more. Since this is silver dominant, having 90% recovery using a scoping flotation as well as cyanide is quite positive. We're going to put those out to about 90 hours. We think we can get those numbers up even more, but the way they stand right now is quite positive. Quickly on La Tigra, as I mentioned, past producer, last in production in the early 90s, super high head grade, never seen a drill hole. So we've been pushing this thing along pretty well over the last 7 months. We have 2 drill rigs turning there. We will be announcing the first 3 holes tomorrow, which is quite exciting. This is kind of what we are expecting to find on our drilling. These are veins at surface. The historic mining was just in the El Tigre vein. We found a bunch more at surface and hopefully within the drilling as well. This is some of the underground channel samples. We've gone underground now. It's quite safe. We will be doing underground drilling eventually, but some really strong grades there, just under a meter of 239 grams gold. The majority of all the samples were quite high grade, so we're quite excited for the drilling. Trenching results as well. Again, at surface, lots of material had been mined out, at least a big part of the veins. But again, decent results, 9 meters of 3.3 grams, 4.7 of 5.5, another 12 meters of just under 3 grams, and 4.5 meters of 7 grams. So quite a high grade project. Share structure, incredibly tight. Management and founders were well over 40%. We've been actively buying in the market. You can take a look at the last few weeks. We're blacked out now because of upcoming news. Our market cap is actually a bit more than that, closer to 45 million. We're probably one of the few companies that have gone up in the last number of weeks here, and that's from the back of positive results. Still have over 9 million in cash. That really does carry us well all the way through the year into next year. We've also indicated to the market that we are always actively looking at M&A. We expect to make another transaction sometime in the calendar year. And that's about it. So NI 43-101 at Tepic, expected in Q3 of this year. Discovery potential at Tigra, and hopefully some positive accretive M&A transactions in the not too distant future. Thank you.